Hello, YouTube. Kacy here, and first of all, I'm like re-reviewing this. I have to delete a bunch of stuff so I can execute this review. But hey, I'm back with another review, and today I'm reviewing Rodeo by Travis Scott. Now, granted, this is kind of like a sequel review to my Astroworld one. Yesterday where I said I listened to Astroworld, but I didn't really delve much into its discography because of that album and how underwhelming it was. But man, this came out at a time where Travis Scott was definitely a lot more hungrier. Before this, this album was in 2015. So before this, he released his mixtape Days Before Rodeo, which got some, I want to say it got some praise in the hip hop scene. And at this point in the time, Travis Scott was still on the come up. He was still like an underdog, for real. Despite, like I said, already producing for people like Kanye West on Yeezus and stuff like that. So for his debut album, he really wanted to make a name for himself, and he really did. He really freaking did. On this album, we have like just absolutely just amazing soundscapes, along with surprisingly a lot of introspective lyrics, and I feel like just the trap genre done to like the extreme almost, or to its most hedonistic. But let's start it off with the song Pornography. And already you have a lot of different elements here that come into play later into the album. Not only you have the introspective lyrics and the narration from Southern hip hop rapper T.I. on here. Someone who basically birthed the trap scene, trap music scene. But you also have like these really hungry, I gotta get the money, lyrics and delivery from Travis Scott. And already we see Travis Scott's influences on here, from Kid Cudi to Kanye West. From Kid Cudi and Kanye West, and along with the way how the instrumental builds. It's all first like these really heavy synths, which is a kind of like a constant theme throughout this album, like this heavy synthy type of production, and then on the back end of the track you have like a dun 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 dun, kind of get like this epic feeling, and it's kind of like how you could describe a lot of the tracks on here as epic. Like for example, the trap epic 3500, which as a trap song really should not exist and shouldn't work as well as it does, because this is a trap song that is 7 minutes. You don't normally see a 7-minute trap song, and there's not a single minute wasted. This beat goes absolutely hard. There's so many different parts of the beat. Not only do you have like really the cool, like just the banging production, the that sound. Not only do you have that's very just very southern hip hop type of sound on it. But you just have like these really cool boastful verses from both 2 Chainz and Future. Which is about how rich they are, which is like 3,500 for the code. I only two things I go like I really love like the really repetitive type of sample that is played throughout the track. I will say the track is kind of repetitive, but 2 Chainz and Future and Travis Scott sound like they're having so much fun. It kind of doesn't matter, and it just sounds so epic and grandiose. It's just awesome. There's also some more like just altered type of trap takes like on the track Nightcrawler, which sounds so depraved, if that makes sense. I don't know what about it, but along with this and Maria I'm Drunk, which I'll get to later, along with this and Maria I'm Drunk, it just sounds like such a depraved track. Like they're just like at the peak hedonism, with Chief Keef, Swae and Travis Scott all being like, oh, it's not when the night calls, bring out the money, bring out the girls, bring her mansions, bigger alcohol, more drugs, more everything, and it's just like wow. And also this production, incredible. Not only do you have like this really cool like kind of tween sound, like the but you also have like these kind of cool like industrial to me type of like synths that appear throughout. I kind of give like this kind of rage feeling, rage before rage, and just wow. It kind of gives like this like lingo. It kind of gives off this like dystopian type of trap type of sound, kind of like Long Live ASAP, which is one of my favorite albums of all time, and what I kind of categorize as dystopian trap. And what dystopian trap is to me is trap that like it's like trap music. It's all about the partying and the girls and the money and all that, except it's like put into like this blender where it's just like this transformer, this blender that makes it into like this something that's way darker than it could ever be, and kind of way more artistic than it could ever be. Another track that I think really exemplifies that is something like "Oh My Decide," which has like, it starts off with these very just menacing, disgusting, like just so evil guitar licks on the first side. First side kind of just talking about the struggles of Big Rogan Houston and trying to like make his name, make it for him and name for himself in the music industry, while this side kind of talks about the struggles in Houston and everything. More with like a kind of more of like a psychedelic kind of R&B type of beat. This is one of the more introspective tracks on here, along with Pornography, in my opinion. And I like how it's like split onto Oh My and this side. Although I will say it's one of my least favorites, and that's mostly because Quavo doesn't really have much of a presence on the track. But other than that, it's just a great track all around. Same thing with the song Wasted, which, although I do think Juicy J has kind of like a weak presence on the track, his track on here, his presence on here does kind of remind you of like a Southern legend, which is what Juicy J is. You know, Juicy J from 3 6 Mafia. That's what Juicy J is. He is a Southern hip hop legend, and he comes through and he has just like a great verse just talking about the South, what it's like being in the South, and like their place in the South, and just like, hey, I'm from the South, and I was out of the country in me and everything. It's such a cool, like, boastful track. I really like it. Then we go into one of the more famous cuts off here, which is 90210. And you're wondering why I haven't gotten to this yet. It's because, like, you know, I mean, it's good. It's really, really good, actually. I'm not gonna say it's just like overrated. I do think it's overrated, but I just think it's not as good as people make it seem, in my opinion. First of all, not only is it just but just to say, I do think that the first side, where it's like this really cool, like, just heavenly psychedelic side with Kacy Hill and these heavenly vocals, it's just wow. Plus with the added guitar rock, psychedelic rock samples throughout, it just gives like this otherworldly feel. And then you go into like this second part where it talks about, you know, it's Travis Scott talking about his come up and everything, and how, like, you know, he's giving back to his family and the ones who supported him along the way. It really is just like amazing. It's an amazing track. I don't think it's as good as everybody else, but it's still an amazing track. I also love how it has like kind of like the Kanye West sample from Family Business on it. I think it is, but it sounds similar to it, and it's just all around a great track. But I think the track after this, wow, just wow. Pray for Love is ridiculously good. Not only from a production standpoint, which, by the way, just sounds so dark and menacing, especially in the first side where Travis Scott is kind of, you know, rapping not about like boasting and everything, but like also about like kind of like, you know, the white powers and position and everything. There's kind of like a conscious hip hop like undertone in here, and it really is in there. Where on the second verse, Travis Scott talking about he's tired of seeing you know, kids on CNN, on the television and everything, and CNN is against the black people and everything, and it's just, you see Travis Scott in a different light here, and I really like it. Again, this is hungry. He's very hungry. He's proving like, hey, I have something to say. I have something that I want to say. The South guys I want to say, and he's saying something on this track. And the Weeknd comes through with more of a boastful type of energy, but man, does he not add on to the atmosphere of this track? Like, wow, this is an amazing trap song. Amazing trap. Top 3 off this album, no doubt. It's just amazing. Then you go to Piss on Your Grave, which has Kanye West on it, which I know is pretty divisive right now. But man, I kind of don't. I'm gonna say I don't care. I do care, actually, because yeah, he kind of sucks right now. But man, he has like an okay performance on here. What I really like here is the really cool psychedelic rock sample, which is a lot of I consider there's a lot of psychedelic influences on here, more so than on here than on Astroworld. And just the way how like dark and again depraved it sounds, like a Nightcrawler, it's just great. I don't know, it's just great. I really like it. And again, Travis Scott comes on here. He's just talking his shit on this thing. It's awesome. Same thing with the song Antidote, which is another kind of trap song and was like one of the singles from here. It's the single that I actually already knew before I listened to this album. So I actually kind of knew a little bit of this album before listening to it. And although I thought it was gonna be the best track on here, which it's not because I already knew it. It was one of the best tracks on here. Again, the fact this was a trap single that was played on the radio is actually insane when you actually hear this production. Not only is Travis Scott's version of the backside of the song just amazing, really good, but one of the best verses on here. But this production just sounds so again like industrial-ish and so heavy for some reason. Like, wow, like I didn't even know like a trap song could sound like this. This is insane. Like, it's actually insane that this was actually played on the radio, because for real, let's see a lot of this album as it's not like a party trap album, more as like a let's sit down and listen to album, which you can do that with every album, obviously, but this is just so much more developed and impressive than almost any trap album I've ever like listened to, for real. I'm gonna go over to Impossible, and again, like it's not one of my favorite tracks on here, but again, it's just like nice psychedelic production, and it's just like really nice, just kind of like I would say like a love song, more R&B-ish in a way, and it's just really great. Then we go to Maria I'm Drunk, and Maria I'm Drunk is, I think, the best trap song I have ever heard. And there's multiple reasons why. Not only does it have the weird, depraved kind of sound that was on Nightcrawler, but like just the beats. Wow. Although it's repetitive, it sounds again so depraved, so dark, that it just kind of envelops you. Like the pianos, dun 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 dun. It just sounds so ominous. Young Thug has a stellar performance on here. Just wow. Because his vocals just fit with the instrumental so well. It's just like, oh my god. And Justin Bieber actually does a very good job on here. Not only is his singing obviously good, but like him being on the track, he's not out of place or anything. It makes sense. And his chemistry with Young Thug, even though they have two completely different vocal styles, works together so well. And just the way how the track progresses from like being like, you think, oh, it's gonna be a typical R&B cut, probably just talking about, hey, like they're low for marijuana and everything, kind of just in the way how like it delves in, it's like kind of like gets darker and darker. It's the perfect trap song in my opinion. This is the best track on here and the perfect trap song. Let me go immediately again with already a song that's in contender for the best song on here, with Flying High, which I haven't seen nobody talking about this track on here when talking about this album. But Flying High is just wow. First of all, then you have Toro and Moi having a very stellar performance, and they sound super dreamy and drugged out, in my opinion, on like his part. By the way, this track is just about him like being high and everything. You have like these really cool I don't know what genre it is, but the type of instrument that they're using, the dun 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 dun, it's just so cool. It's so cool. It sounds so cool. It sounds so awesome. It sounds so festive, if that makes sense. And it's just fire. It's just straight fire, man. It's just a banger. And you have I Can Tell, which is like another like kind of psychedelic cut off here, which again I do think is. In terms of the album, it is kind of like a generic track, but it's still amazing, especially with the lyrics kind of just talking about, again, his come up, and he can tell what you've been through, and what you can't tell what I've been through and everything. And he kind of talks about how himself being introspective about his past. Same thing with the song Apple Pie, Closer, which I think is an amazing closer, to be totally honest. Kind of closing off on the statement like, yo, mama, I don't need your apple pie anymore. I can do this on my own. It's time for me to build my own legacy, do my own thing, and just, yeah, that's what this whole album is about. It's Travis Scott building his own legacy, being a foundation for this psychedelic trap sound that is kind of common, but I don't think, at least from what I've seen, it hasn't really picked up like how it should be, because he created a whole entirely different sound. This is a sound that you don't hear anywhere else. It's very hard to put your finger on, but it definitely is there. This is psychedelic trap. Astroworld is good, but this is like this you can tell this is a career-defining, genre-defining album, and you can tell like its influence on the trap scene in many different ways, and it's just all around an amazing album. I am thoroughly impressed with what Travis Scott was able to do here, especially for a debut. He definitely came on the scene and just showed everybody what he's about. So for that, I'm giving it a 9, strong 9, light 9.5 out of 10, more on the 9 out of 10 side. And wow, just an amazing album. I definitely recommend this album. If you listen to Astroworld, listen to this. And then honestly, I think this album has aged way better than Astroworld, and it's not even close. It's just not close. It's aged way better than Astroworld. And yeah, just give this one a listen. Yeah. 9 out of 10. Can't wait to see you on the next review. See ya.